This podcast is presented by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Welcome to Shift into Better Health, the National Diabetes Prevention Program's podcast series for lifestyle change program enrollees. For folks who want to improve their health, have more energy, and prevent type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. The Lifestyle Change Program is proven to work. I'm your host, Captain Jack, radio personality and former professional truck driver. Each episode in this series is led by drivers for drivers and will cover a topic from the National Diabetes Prevention Program's Lifestyle Change Program. We'll talk about how to tackle challenges professional drivers face so you'll arrive at your destination a healthier you, faster and easier. Welcome back. In our last episode, we learned how healthy eating choices can help you prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. This episode focuses on beverages available to drivers on the road, the calories and sugar hidden in some of our old favorites, and how to find healthier options that taste good to boot. I recently sat down with two guests to talk about ways to rethink our drinks. My first guest was Tanya Jolliffe, a registered dietitian who understands the special challenges drivers face. Her brother's been on the job for more than 25 years. Also joining me was professional driver Glenn Keller. He's been an owner-operator for nearly 30 years behind the wheel. He lost over 35 pounds when he started making healthy changes. A lot of us don't realize how much beverages can contribute to our daily sugar and calorie intake, or the effect they have on blood sugar levels. But Tanya knows that reading nutritional labels can help drivers quench a thirst for helpful info.
Drivers know how much sugar there is in a drink when they look at the side label, or the front label even a lot of times now has it with the new labeling rules. But you can find how many grams of sugar are in that store-bought beverage. If it's a 16-ounce beverage, it's really 2 servings that are in there because each serving is 8 ounces. If you're going to choose to drink that whole bottle, you have to put in your head that that's double.
Why can it be so difficult for drivers to reduce the number of sugary drinks, Tanya?
Much of the problem is because of this constant cycle of drinking high sugary drinks to feel awake and alert and have that 90 minutes of energy. That very high is followed by a very, very low.
The more sugar you have, the stronger the sugar rush.
But it actually is a vicious cycle that you're just kind of living out over and over and over again.
I know that cycle well. Too much sugar can be a safety hazard for drivers, right?
That sugar rush leads to fatigue and a lack of focus. Those are both disastrous for a driver.
Absolutely. So do some drinks have more sugar than others?
Sweetened sodas. They're considered liquid sugar, and some colas are higher than others, depending on the brand. And some citrus drinks are the very highest in terms of their sugar content and their caffeine content. So again, that's that double whammy. Sparkling water has the mouthfeel of a soda, but it doesn't provide that sugar load that is going to work against you. So that is a great option for drivers, and I'm finding more and more of those at convenience stores all the time. The bubbles of sparkling water can actually help you feel fuller longer than just plain water. Fruit juices, a 4-ounce cup or 4-ounce serving provides the nutrients you need in terms of vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin E, etc. But a 12-ounce serving of grape juice actually has more, or apple juice has more sugar in it than a 12-ounce soda. So if you have to pick between a fruit drink and a fruit juice, 100% fruit juice, go with 100% fruit juice, but you only want about a 4-ounce serving. You wouldn't want the whole 8 or 12-ounce serving.
One way to rethink this is you'd rather have a cup of grapes than a big bottle of grape juice. There's juice in the grapes, so go with the grapes that also are going to provide you with fiber.
Right. Some popular drinks are loaded with sugar. That's why it's so important to read those nutrition labels. What about energy drinks and sports drinks? Do they live up to their names?
Energy drinks. This is another area that I see drivers use, and I will say abuse, because, again, they're trying to stay awake. And it is the cycle of the sugary drinks and the caffeine that has actually put them in this state of not being alert. One of the things that I know a lot of drivers have shared with me that they drink sports drinks, especially in the hot weather. And there's a sugar load there, but there's also a need there because of the electrolytes. And you need the electrolytes, but you don't need the sugar load. Low-fat chocolate milk has the same composition as those sports drinks in terms of sodium and potassium. But you also get protein, and you also get some vitamins and some minerals. So if you've never thought of a cold glass of low-fat chocolate milk, that might be a good alternative to a sports drink, and you're going to get some more nutrition in that and less of the actual just added sugar. If dairy does not agree with you, unsweetened dairy alternatives like coconut or almond milk provide the same benefits. You just want to make sure that you're picking up the unsweetened variety.
There is another drink we need to talk about, coffee. Many drivers don't realize the amount of sugar they might be consuming in their coffee if they don't drink it black. This is another area we need to consider when we are thinking about beverage swaps. One way to rethink a medium cafe latte with whole milk would be to rethink it in terms of size, to make it a small instead of a medium. Another way to rethink it would be to use fat-free milk instead of whole milk or cream. The other way to rethink it is just to have black coffee.
My buddy Glenn was able to lose a lot of weight by cutting out sugary drinks and truck stop juices.
I remember the sugary drinks and the high that you would get from it for a moment, and then the fall from that, and that dehydrated feeling that made me sluggish and just moving slow. And whereas one moment it seemed like I had a whole bunch of energy, and I'm like, okay, where did all of my energy go? And it was just that sugar high, that's what it was. And I just got hooked on those things. I would go in there and get those off the shelf and walk right past water and get, the majority of the time, it was the grapefruit juice because of what I thought grapefruit juice did as far as taking off pounds or whatever. So the majority of the time, it would be the grapefruit juice. So going to the water and making the water my first choice kind of stopped all that up and down.
When it comes to staying hydrated, water is one of the most perfect things you could ever have. My goodness, that's the winner right there. Water is the magic elixir in many ways. Over time, you'll find you have more energy by staying hydrated, and you'll feel better.
What I'll do is I'll get one of the big bottles of water because I found out it doesn't need to be cold, and I will sit it beside the seat sometimes because it comes in a gallon. Then there's the taller bottles, but I'll get it and I'll sit it right there by my seat. And when I feel thirsty, that's what I reach for. And it is proven to help out a whole lot because I guess another thing is what you have access to. So if I put the sugary drinks in there, that'll give me access to them. And when I get thirsty, that's what I will drink. But when I go in there and I get the water and bring it out and sit it by the seat, when I get thirsty, it's what I have access to. And now what I have access to is the water.
Water is it. I mean, there is nothing else. If you really want to enhance that part of it, and one of the things that I found was just so satisfying, cucumbers and water.
The healthiest beverage for a truck driver is always water, 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 because your body is made up of lots of water. Over 50% of your body is water. So your brain, your heart, your lungs, your skin, muscles, blood, even your bones need that water. And being dehydrated, sometimes you think you're hungry and you're reaching for food when really you're dehydrated.
Instead of a non-diet ginger ale with your meal, drivers can try water with a slice of lemon or lime, or seltzer water with a splash of 100% fruit juice.
Making lifestyle changes might not be easy, but Tanya offered some tips for starting slowly to make healthier beverage choices part of your daily routine.
The best way to attack substitutions and making change is to make one small change at a time. It isn't going to just suddenly change, and you're not just suddenly going to have more energy and be more alert by drinking water tomorrow. So the same way you got to the point of drinking 7 sodas a day, you want to back off to drinking 7 waters a day. So 1 less soda today in favor of 1 more water. Then do that for a day or 2 or even a week, and then go step back another one and go to 5 and then 4 and then 3 and then 2. And so as you step that over, your body will compensate. You'll see that you're more alert.
It took a transition, that breaking of old habits, that recognition of what's important, and that attempt to pursue a healthier lifestyle and lose the weight and still have the energy, but without getting that energy from sources that it shouldn't be coming from, those little instantaneous bursts of energy that wasn't going to last very long anyway.
Making a commitment is important, but creating a plan is important too. It has to be something that you think of and something that you follow through on. You're pretty much inundated with the marketing of everything that's out there that get your energy here, good taste and sugar and keep you awake. I mean, you can walk through the door and look over at that pretty little corner of the store where all those wonderful colors are and all those sugary drinks are, and you sit there and go, yeah, that's nice. That's like your little sugar wonderland over there, your amusement world, that kind of thing, But you really, I think at some point you just have to say, okay, I'm here for this and I'm going for that, and I'm going to ignore that over there, and I'm going to do this over here. I'm going to get this, that, and then I'm going to get my fuel and get out of here. And that's what you have to do. You have to just put blinders on, I guess, to a certain extent, as you're walking into the establishment. I remember when I was a smoker many, many years ago, and my wife said to me, you just had a grandson. You want to see him grow up. You want to see him do this. You want to see him do that. That day, you have an effect on yourself. I mean, you can muster up willpower that you don't even know you have when you put yourself in a circumstance where you say, this is important.
So to stir up that willpower, that energy to say no to the things that I know weren't good for me. It wasn't easy. I had acquired that taste for that sugar, and it tasted better when it had sugar. So as hard as it was, the recognition that I need to be healthy for some other people that love me, care about me, depend on me. And so it was hard, but it was necessary. I don't wander around truck stops anymore. Before I get out of my truck, I know what I'm going in there to get. Because I think where you get in trouble is when you go in there with no specific purpose in mind, just to walk up and down the aisles. And there's going to be something that's going to catch your eye. Oh, I haven't had that in a while. Oh, that looks good. But usually by the time I go into the truck stop, I've made up my mind what I'm going in there to get. So I don't wander around. I go there, I get that, I get back in the truck.
Think about it in terms of your habits. What is it I normally put in my cooler? What is it I normally stock in my refrigerator? What is I normally purchase when I go to the grocery store? I usually drive this route, and I usually have a soda when I get to this mile marker, or I usually have this when I am at this stop. It's how you identify as a driver. It's how you do your job. And so you have to do your job differently. You have to drink differently while you do your job. And as long as you feel that you're still confined by those same processes and procedures, you're going to be locked into it. But if you can think about it, I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to try it in a different way, that can really put you in a whole different mindset to break that idea that this is so hard. You can do it. You just got to change it up a little bit. Drivers can be successful as long as they keep in mind that there is no good and bad foods. There's no good and bad drinks. There's just better drinks and better choices.
Absolutely. Well, that's a wrap for this episode. I'd like to thank Tanya and Glenn for joining us and sharing their insights. Next time, we'll chat about shopping for and preparing healthy food on the road. In the meantime, I encourage you to try some of the substitutions that Tanya recommended. Start slowly and enjoy. Remember that America needs you healthy. Your family needs you healthy. You need to be healthy to continue living this trucking life. We're on this journey together, every mile of the way. For the most accurate health information, visit cdc.gov or call 1-800-CDC-INFO.